And we have breaking news. UK police have charged actor and comedian Russell Brand with rape and sexual assault. The 18-month investigation includes multiple allegations from
I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile, but what I never was a rapist.
From Hollywood heartthrob to accused predator, Russell Brand's journey is not just a fall from grace. It's a screaming plummet into a cesspool of sex scandals, drug-soaked debauchery, and rape charges that could chain him to a prison cell for life. Once the crowned prince of comedy, a rock star jester who hypnotized the globe with his wicked wit and tangled mane, he's now a desperate shadow clawing at the ruins of his empire in 2025. Was he a predator lurking behind that dazzling grin all along, a wolf in Joker's clothing, or a defiant rebel crushed by the shadowy elite he dared to unmask? This isn't some tame biopic. It's a roller coaster of chaos, betrayal, and courtroom carnage exploding right now. Smash that subscribe button, hit that bell, and strap in tight, because we're ripping open every filthy layer of this twisted tale. And trust me, you won't believe the wreckage we uncover.
We go way back, but you know what it is? We're going out on like a date, straight guy date.
Straight guy date. The best possible result of that date is sex. Now, without a sexual date, what is the best thing that can happen?
Russell Edward Brand was born on June 4, 1975, in Grays, Essex, a bleak, soot-stained nowhere town where hope was a rumor and the air tasted like rust. His parents, Barbara and Ronald Brand, were a fractured start. Ronald, a sleazy photographer with a roving eye and a knack for disappearing, walked out when Russell was 6 months old, leaving Barbara to fend for herself. She was a warrior, a secretary grinding through dead-end jobs, but cancer was her relentless stalker, striking her 3 times. A brutal trilogy of chemo and tears that Russell witnessed from the sidelines, a scrawny kid with eyes too big for the pain they held. Their flat was a revolving door of desperation, evictions, late rent, the hum of debt collectors. That instability wasn't just a backdrop. It was a branding iron searing chaos into his soul. At 7, the shadows grew teeth. He's dropped it in interviews years later, a bombshell he barely unpacks. A tutor, some slimy predator in a cheap suit, sexually abused him. No names, no dates, just the gut-wrenching truth. Hands groping where they had no right. A violation that sank into his marrow and stayed there, rotting. He locked it away, a secret too heavy to carry, and it warped him. Sex became a maze of power and shame. Trust a ghost he'd never catch. School was a war zone. He was a gangly misfit, all sharp elbows and louder-than-life bravado. Teachers despised him. He got booted from one school for screaming obscenities at a headmaster, then another for hurling a chair through a window in a blind fury. Bulimia sank its claws in at 14. Hours hunched over toilets, puking up stolen biscuits, then gorging again, a vicious cycle of self-loathing masked as control. The mirror was his enemy, spitting back a boy he couldn't stand. Home was a powder keg. Barbara's new boyfriend, a burly, chain-smoking brute, rolled in when Russell was 16, and the tension was instant. They clashed like titans, yelling matches that shook the walls, doors slammed so hard the hinges groaned, a fistfight that ended with Russell spitting blood and Barbara sobbing. That was the breaking point. He grabbed a duffel bag, stuffed it with clothes and spite, and ran. London's grimy streets opened their arms, a teenage runaway with no compass, just a gnawing, feral hunger for something. Anything bigger than the mess he'd left behind. The city was a beast, and it chewed him up, spitting out a boy already half broken, ready to build a mask to hide the scars. As adolescence took hold, Russell's world unraveled into a lawless sprawl of rebellion and ruin. London in the early 90s was a neon-lit jungle, dingy pubs, squat houses reeking of piss and despair, dealers lurking in every alley with their greasy promises. At 17, he's a ghost in the chaos, crashing on moldy mattresses, trading barbs for laughs with punks, junkies, and drifters who'd stab you for a $5. School's a dead memory. He's chasing acting now, clawing at auditions for fringe plays and smoky theaters. He scores a spot at the Italiacani Academy, a drama school with a glimmer of prestige, but it's a train wreck. He's expelled after a year for staggering and high on gin, smashing a mirror in a dressing room, and screaming at a teacher who dared call him out. Rules were chains. He'd rather burn than bend. Drugs became his gospel. Weed was the gateway, a lazy haze to dull the edges. Then cocaine hit, a white-hot jolt that lit his frayed nerves on fire. By 18, he's snorting lines off sticky bar counters, eyes darting like a hunted animal, voice booming over the din. Heroin slithered in next, cheap and vicious, injected in dank basements with needles he didn't bother to clean. He's a junkie now, skin stretched tight over bones, funding the habit with grunt work, washing dishes in greasy spoons, biking packages through traffic, nicking wallets when the cash dried up. His crew, loose term, was a revolving door of casualties. Mates overdosed in stairwells, got nabbed by cops, vanished into the void. Russell's a skeleton with a pulse, teetering on the edge, but there's a flicker, comedy. He stumbles into open mics, half-coked, half-starved, words spilling like venom. The crowd's his new fix. Laughter's the rush he's chasing, a high no needle can touch. The spiral's a meat grinder. At 19, he's nabbed by cops for shattering a shop window in a drugged-out blackout. Glass everywhere, blood on his knuckles, a warning instead of cuffs. Sex weaves in, a messy thread, quick, reckless hookups with barmaids, groupies, anyone who'd bite. He's a collector, stacking bodies like trophies, but it's a void he can't fill. A girlfriend, an artsy type with paint-stained hands, tries to save him, drags him to a rehab clinic in 94. He's there 3 days, twitching, sweating, then bolts when they snatch his stash. The mask's forging. Russel Brand, the loudmouth renegade, is taking shape, but the boy beneath is a junkyard of rage and ruin, sinking deeper every day. By the late 90s, Russell was clawing his way through London's comedy circuit, a wiry, wild-haired fiend with a tongue like a switchblade. He's gigging in basements, dive bars, anywhere with a mic and a crowd dumb enough to listen, spitting raw, filthy rants that shock and mesmerize. The Edinburgh Fringe in 99 is his crucible. He's a standout, a manic poet in shredded jeans, weaving Dickensian flair with punk snarl, leaving audiences stunned and promoters salivating. Agents circle like vultures, and in 2000, MTV tosses him a rope, dance floor chart. He's a presenter now, a hyperactive tornado in tight pants, bouncing around with charm and chaos dripping off him. It's a hit. Viewers can't get enough of the unhinged energy, but the drugs are a leech he can't peel off. Heroin's still his shadow, cracks the chaser. He's a walking overdose, stashing baggies in his socks, sniffing lines in green room toilets. MTV's a pressure cooker. He's late, erratic, a liability with a smirk. Then, September 12, 2001, he swaggers and dressed as Osama bin Laden, grinning like a madman. The day after September 11th. Producers lose their minds. Viewers flood the switchboard. He's axed on the spot. Career suicide? Damn close. He's blacklisted, broke, squatting with the few mates who'll still answer his calls. But Russell's a survivor, a cockroach in eyeliner. He doubles down on stand-up, hits the UK in 2002 with Better Now, a brutal, funny gut spill about addiction. It's dark, it's real, it's a middle finger to the execs who dumped him. Channel 4 smells blood in 2004. Big Brother's Big Mouth is his phoenix moment. He's the ringmaster, turning reality TV into a circus of rants, roasts, and reckless charisma. Ratings spike. He's a cult icon now, all swagger and sex appeal, a peacock strutting through the trash heap. The mask's gleaming. Russel Brand, the mad genius, is unleashed, but the demons are pacing just off stage, sharpening their claws. In 2008, forgetting Sarah Marshall made Brand a Hollywood name. All This Snow, the rock star with a devilish grin, was Russell dialed to 11. The film's a goldmine, $105 million at the box office, and he's the breakout star, a Brit with a pirate's charm crashing Tinseltown. Get him to the Greek in 2010 doubles down. He's a global draw, pulling $91 million, rubbing elbows with Jonah Hill and Diddy, living the LA dream. Off-screen, he's a tabloid wildfire, dating Kate Moss, the supermodel goddess, then snaring Katy Perry in 2009. Their romance is a fevered blur. Met at the MTV VMAs, engaged in a heartbeat, married in 2010 with a tiger-patrolled wedding in India. Extravagant? It's Brand on steroids. But the gloss is a sham. Katie's blindsided. 14 months in, he dumps her via text on New Year's Eve 2011, a gutless move that leaves her in pieces. He's smug, untouchable. Sex addiction's the real headliner. He brags about 1,000 women, 80 in 1 month at his peak, a machine of conquest. Groupies in hotel rooms, escorts on speed dial, strangers in bar stalls. He's insatiable. Hollywood whispers turned sinister. Crew on Sarah Marshall say he flashed staff, made lewd passes, left women trembling. His stand-up's a billboard. Blowjobs where mascara runs. He cackles, crowds howl. But it's a predator's script nobody flags. Katie calls him controlling post-split. Exes like Jemima Khan sidestep questions about his temper, his fists. The fame's a drug, and he's mainlining it, overdosing on his own excess. By 2014, Brand had rebranded himself as a counterculture messiah. Hollywood's too hollow. He sneers, so he launches the Trues on YouTube. True News, he dubs it, a megaphone for rants against capitalism, media lies, the 1% stranglehold. It's a smash, 6 million subscribers by 2023, views in the tens of millions. He's writing too. Revolution, 2014, pitches a utopian uprising. Recovery, 2017, peddles his 12-step redemption. Arc rehabs ancient history. He's soberish, deep into yoga, hair Krishna chants, a spiritual poster child with a halo of curls. Marriage to Laura Gallagher in 2017, 2 kids, a quaint Oxfordshire farmhouse, paints him pure. Fans devour it. He's their enlightened savior, a prophet in skinny jeans. But it's a con. The money pours in, books, tours, branded hoodies. He's preachy, sanctimonious, but the old Russel bleeds through. Arrogant, slippery, a showman playing sage. Critics smell a grift, supporters see a visionary. The mask's snug, but the edges are peeling, and the past is a vulture circling overhead. With the pandemic came a seismic shift in Brand's public persona. 2020 flips the game. The Trues goes rogue, anti-vax tirades, biolab conspiracies, QAnon light dog whistles about satanic cabals. He's on X, amplifying it. Millions follow, Elon Musk retweets, truth seekers cheer. YouTube demonetizes him in 2023 for misinformation. He leaps to Rumble, rakes in fatter checks. Trump's a touchstone. He flirts with MAGA rhetoric, rails about deep state puppets. Fans crown him a prophet, detractors scream cult leader. The guru's a conspiracist now, and the line's blurring. Was he ever about truth, or just riding the next wave of clout? The shift's a gamble, and it's about to blow up in his face. The first cracks in Brand's public armor began long before the 2023 expose, 2008, Saxgate. On BBC Radio 2 with Jonathan Ross, he prank calls actor Andrew Sachs, brags about screwing his granddaughter, leaves voicemails dripping with sleaze that air live. The nation erupts, 30,000 complaints, he's sacked, fined £150,000. He shrugs, smirks, but the stench lingers. Then 2012, Nadia says he raped her in LA, pinned her to a wall, left her bleeding. She's got rape kit records, hospital notes. He denies it, it vanishes. Whispers stack up, women fleeing his house in tears, NDAs piling like dirty laundry. September 2023, Dispatches and the Sunday Times drop a nuke. 4 women accuse him of rape, assault, abuse from 2006 to 2013. One's 16, groomed, called the child, while he forced oral sex in a locked room. Another's raped in LA, a third assaulted on a film set, bruises on her arms. Texts, witnesses, medical files, it's a sledgehammer. Russell's on YouTube hours before. All consensual, he bellows, slams a coordinated attack by the system. The doc, in plain sight, airs old clips. Him joking about choking women mid-sex, offering his assistant naked to Jimmy Savile on air. It's a predator's highlight reel, and the world's gagging. In April 2025, Russel Brand was formally charged with multiple counts: rape, indecent assault, oral rape, sexual assault, tied to 4 women from 1999 to 2005. Courts locked for May 2, 2025. He's 50, staring down decades in a concrete box. The Met Police dug for 18 months. Witnesses, paper trails, cold cases cracked open like graves. He's on X, raging, "I was a fool, not a rapist." Supporters, Musk, Rogan, a legion of X-bots, scream setup. His anti-elite rants made him a marked man, they swear. Detractors wave proof. Hospital visits, texts begging women to stay quiet. A PA's diary entry. "RB grabbed me. I said no," he laughed. His tours canceled, sponsors flee. YouTube's a wasteland. Laura's by his side, but whispers leak. She's sleeping in the guest room, cracking under the strain. Public debate, courtroom drama. As the trial unfolds, the world is watching. May 2025 looms like a death knell. Will tapes leak? The verdict's a razor's edge, and the stakes are his entire existence. So now we turn it over to you, the viewer. Is Russel Brand a monster who hid in plain sight, a predator who played us all, or a martyr framed by the machine he dared to defy? The trial's ticking, guilty or not. This saga's a wildfire burning out of control. Smash that like button, drop your theories in the comments, subscribe with that bell on, because this ain't over till the gavel slams, and we're riding this chaos to the bitter end.